What's going on, guys? I have a truly wireless headphone review for you. This one's actually, I'm kind of excited for this one just because truly wireless headphones have always been one of two things for me. They've either been too expensive or the sound quality just isn't there. It's just not, there's always something wrong with them. They might be a little too bright, they might have too much bass and not enough treble, they might have a little bit of lag, a little bit of latency when you're watching movies, anything like that. So when a truly wireless headphone comes across my desk and it does things that are advertised, that it says it's going to do, lately, it's not so much a surprise. It's kind of expected, but generally it's expected over the $100 mark. Whether you're talking about the One More Stylish, which are one of my favorite truly wireless headphones ever, the Galaxy Buds, AirPods if you have an Apple device, or just about any other of the more expensive truly wireless headphones. I got these on a Black Friday sale or Cyber Monday, one of the two. I don't remember which, but I got these a few weeks ago. I had my eye on them for a while. I didn't really want to spend $50 on them. Not because I didn't think they'd be worth it, but because I don't have $50. So when I got these on a deal, they were at about, I think they were like $35. And so I took a chance. They seem to check off a whole lot of boxes for me. They don't have aptX. As far as codecs go, you're looking at either AAC or SBC. What really had me intrigued though, for these particular ones, they are Bluetooth 5.0. So basically, they should have better connection quality, that sort of thing. And supposedly, it's supposed to help with that lag and latency issue you get with streaming video. So I'm kind of going to go across some of the features real quick, and then we'll get into the audio quality. They claim 6 hours of use per charge, and I got around that with my testing. And it does say about 24 hours of playtime total, and I honestly want to say I got closer to about 26 to 30. And these, you can use either headphone, left or right, it doesn't really matter, whichever your preference. I know there's some people out there that like to put one earbud in, let the other one charge, and then when that one dies or whatever, switch them out. So you can use either or. Not a problem with this. I will say the case is a little flimsy. I don't know, it feels like cheap plastic to me. Not a huge deal considering that the normal price on these right now on Amazon is $50. So it's not a huge deal, but I would like to see a little bit higher quality case. You do have, yeah, there you go, you can see them. That's basically telling me that they were dead. Those flashing red lights, the case is dead. But there are two lights here, and each of these lights tells you which one is charging. So if you got the left one in or right one or both, they'll both light up. And then moving around to the back, it is a USB-C port. So that's also nice because I don't have to go hunting for my micro USB, especially at the price point, $50. That is nice to have. Here's something that you may not be able to see, and I hope no, it's not, so I'm gonna have to hold it. You might not be able to see, but if you look right here, you see those two little dark dots. There's two here, and then there's two on this side too. So what those are telling you is, as far as the touch controls go on these earbuds, it's a little weird because you go through a tap sequence of what you want to do, and each earbud does different things. So it's not like you're doing the same thing with either earbud. So on your right earbud, you press it once and you'll go to your next track. You press it twice, or touch it twice, I guess, and it's your play pause, and then 3 times goes to your previous track. And then with your left earbud, You touch it once, it's volume up. Twice is play pause, and then 3 times is volume down. Now that does have a little voice in your ear when you get to max volume, saying that that's as high as you could go. And when you do hit the touchpad, there's an audible beep in your ear, basically just telling you that you activated the touchpad. I have issues with touchpads. I 100% prefer physical buttons on these. Mostly because anytime I go to touch, it sounds like a little mini T-Rex is stomping around in my ear. And it's annoying. I don't like that. That's me. I don't like touchpads on truly wireless or any headphones. I don't like them. I would much rather have a physical button. So that, for me, I don't care for. For you, you might like the touchpad. I will say that I am very happy that they included volume controls on these. They might be a little funky, but at least they're there. So I don't have to pull out my phone or whatever it is that I'm listening to change the volume. So that is nice. I will say that is very nice. I do also want to point out that there is the Fiil Plus app, and I may not have said, but these are the Fiil T1X. When you are in the app, it will show you which headphones you got and what their battery is currently at. That's the little home screen of the app. Now, if you go into, all you got to do really is slide to the right, you actually will get into the EQ settings. And right now I have it on original. There is bass, treble, and then right here on this list right there are a whole handful more of EQ settings. And I'll go through them real quick. You got car stereo, classic, light music, home theater, metal, pop music, R&B, dance, rock, electronic, soft bass, and new age. I went through each one of these, and basically it's what you expect out of each one of them. Rock gives you a little bit more bass, so does R&B a little bit. Smooths out the vocals, the treble a little bit too. Going with the original EQ setting right there, the original. That's what it says. I personally found that the sound, there's a lot of bass in these, which is fantastic. I love that. The bass and the mids are very separate from each other. So even if you do have a really, really high bass song, you don't really feel a lot of that bass creeping up into the mids. And that is very, very impressive to me for a truly wireless headset that is under $50 or at that $50 mark. The highs to me are a little forward. They're not piercing, but they are definitely more forward than the mids. So it feels like a very treble forward and a very bass forward earphone. Maybe a little bit more treble forward than bass. Speaking of the bass, going into this app, into the Fiil Plus app or whatever it is, Fiil Plus app. Going into this app, in this EQ setting, in the bass setting, a lot of those EQ settings for bass, really all they do is they boost the bass frequencies and then they drop the treble frequencies. And this one does do that, but it doesn't do it to where it sounds like, you're listening to your music like this. And that's fairly impressive. You don't really hear that a lot in EQ settings in general, preset EQ settings. So when a company can actually get that a little bit right is kind of nice. So if you do like bass but you don't want to listen to your music like this, then the bass setting on this EQ is actually decent, and I think you'll be satisfied with it if you are a bass head and you don't want to listen to your music incredibly muffled. And there is one more screen here. I don't know how well you can read that, but I'll kind of go through it a little bit. The top option is an easy mode. Basically, what that does is it limits the touch operations to double click and medium press to activate the voice assistant. I never really activated the voice assistant on these. The medium press was kind of hard for me because every time I went to medium press, I turned off the earbud. So your mileage may vary. I may very well be an idiot, but that's the way it worked for me. The next one down is low latency mode. I didn't see that these had the aptX codec, but what this says is low latency mode will reduce the playback delay of video/game, but may increase the compatibility risk. I didn't really use that, so tread lightly, I would say. It does say that if you do want to enable low latency mode, don't do it while you are playing any audio through your earbuds. And then you got a high sensitivity touch left and right. This basically, it just boosts the sensitivity of the touch functions of the left and right earbuds if you're having a hard time with that. It does warn saying that this may increase more false touches for the earbuds. And then this is also where you can update your firmware, and then if for whatever reason your earbuds get out of sync, you could go into the advanced settings and recover the sync. I've covered just about all of that stuff, and I've actually covered the audio quality too. One thing I didn't show you is what comes in the box. Now, usually that's something that people cover at the beginning of the video, but I was too excited to talk about these headphones to you. So you got your user manual, and then you do have a card that shows you what touch functions do what on each earbud. It took me about 2 or 3 times reading that thing to understand it, so I would like to see a little bit more simplified process as far as that goes. And then if you leave a review, I believe on Amazon is what it says, you can get a free Bluetooth speaker. And then the presentation is fairly straightforward. You got your case here, and then the earbuds were up here. The case was wrapped in a little plastic thing. And then on the bottom here, you get a couple of pairs of these. These are the little wing tips that go on around the Truly Wireless. And then you get a USB-C cable, and then you get a couple pairs of ear tips. Small, medium, large. They're all silicone tips, no comply memory foam or anything like that with these. I didn't really expect it for the price, so it wasn't a disappointment or an expectation or anything like that. I will say that watching videos with these was actually pretty friggin' awesome. Zero latency, zero lag issues on Android, and kind of even more surprising was there was zero lag issues with iOS. That's including the YouTube app, which I think just about every single Bluetooth headphone that isn't an AirPod or the newer Beats has an issue with that. And I didn't have an issue with that on my iPad or on my iPhone 7 Plus. That is actually incredibly impressive, just knowing that I didn't have any lag issues watching video, streaming video on iOS. So I thought that was freaking awesome. Before I get into the positives, and I actually really already talked about them, but I do want to say that they're not perfect. I wouldn't expect them to be at the price, or any price really. There isn't really a perfect headphone out there. But my biggest complaints would be the case feels a little cheap. The hinge isn't the greatest. There is a little play in there like that. It's not a huge deal. I don't feel like it's gonna break. I'm not afraid to just throw this in my bag and go. We'll just put it that way. So I'm not super worried about it. I would just like to see it a little bit more robust, a little bit nicer built. The touch controls are funky. I don't really like them. They are a little bit difficult to activate and figure out. It's just, I don't really care for the touch controls, the way that they got them set up. I'm glad that there is so much, so many options there as far as touch controls go. I just don't like the way they set it up. It's just weird to me, and I don't know. I just didn't like it. I would personally like a physical button on there better, but if they stuck with touch controls, maybe, I don't know, figure something else out. I'm not too sure exactly. Or incorporate it in the app, kind of how the Galaxy Buds do. You could change what you want the touch controls to be. That might be something. Who knows? As far as things I like, the battery life is good. It charges USB-C, which is awesome. The sound quality is freaking fantastic, especially for the price. I really didn't expect them to sound as good as they did, and they sound fantastic. They sound amazing. Especially if you're a bass head, if you like bass, or if you like bright music with bass. These, I think, will be right up your alley. I think you'll really, really enjoy them. The integration of the app is actually very, very nice. It's really fluid. It gives you a nice heads-up display of how much charge you have left on your headphones, that sort of thing, and then you can customize the EQ settings somewhat to your liking. They don't give you an actual EQ, so you can't adjust the bands as you see fit, so you have to go with their presets, but I think their presets pretty much cover the gamut of whatever you're listening to, and I honestly say you could listen to anything with these. You could listen to classical, rock, R&B, rap, EDM, trap. I think you could honestly listen to anything, and you'll be fine. I don't really see you having to switch out these earphones for something else to listen to a different genre of music. I really don't. For $50, these are 100%. Go out, get them, give them to friends, give them to people you like, people you don't like, I don't care. But for $50, these are 100% worth every single penny. I would say the sound quality does get up there and start to rival with the One Mores, start to rival with the Galaxy Buds, and those cost double, if not more. If there's anything in the review that I didn't cover, something that you would like answered or anything like that, go ahead and leave a comment. I will do my best to answer. Also follow me on Twitter. That's generally where I am if you want updates about the channel or maybe a video that I'm working on or anything like that. You just kind of want to know what's going on. Follow me there because that's where it's going to be. That does it for this video, guys. I'm out. See ya.